She's earned over $70 million, led initiatives from the White House, and built a powerful public presence. But in reality, if we compare, Michelle Obama's life is defined more by action, not numbers. Born in 1964 on the south side of Chicago, Michelle LaVaughn Robinson grew up in a modest household that overflowed with love, discipline, and ambition. Her father, despite battling multiple sclerosis, worked tirelessly at the city's water plant. Her mother, a dedicated homemaker, focused on instilling the values of education, responsibility, and integrity. Michelle and her brother Craig slept in the same room, studied at the same table, and read together every night. By 6th grade, her teachers recognized her potential and placed her in an advanced program. She later attended Whitney Young Magnet High School, where she not only thrived but graduated near the top of her class. She earned a spot at Princeton University, an Ivy League institution where, despite her intelligence, she often felt like she didn't belong. One counselor told her she wasn't Princeton material. That stuck with her, but instead of holding her back, it pushed her harder. She studied sociology, graduated with honors, and went on to Harvard Law. Her first job was at the top law firm Sidley Austin. Great pay, big title, but it didn't feel right. After losing her father, she knew she needed more than just a paycheck. So she walked away from corporate law and took a public service job. It was a risk, but one that would make her future and, eventually, history. How she met Obama. It was at Sidley where she met a summer associate named Barack Obama. At first, she wasn't impressed. He showed up late. He was confident, charming, almost too smooth. But he quickly proved he was more than talk. Over dinner, he expressed how deeply he believed in service and community. She listened, and then she believed too. Their relationship blossomed. They married in 1992, and together, they built a family that would grow into one of the most admired in the world. In 2008, when Barack launched his presidential campaign, Michelle hesitated. She didn't love politics. She valued privacy, and she had 2 young daughters to protect. But she believed in him, so she stepped up. Within months, she was on the road, attending 33 events in just 8 days, delivering powerful speeches that connected with people across race, gender, and class lines. Her voice was direct, warm, grounded in lived experience. Critics called her angry. She answered with grace. When Barack Obama became America's first black president, Michelle became the country's first black first lady, a role no one in her community had ever imagined possible. And yet, she wore it with elegance, purpose, and strength. She launched Let's Move, a national initiative to fight childhood obesity. She planted a garden on the White House lawn. She danced on Ellen. She hugged children at schools. She worked with veterans, supported military families, and championed girls' education around the globe. Her influence extended well beyond politics. In 2018, she published her memoir, Becoming. It wasn't just a bestseller, it was a phenomenon. Nearly 10 million copies sold. The Netflix documentary that followed gave fans a deeper look into her journey, from a little girl in Chicago to the most powerful woman in Washington. In 2020, she hosted her own podcast on Spotify, offering personal stories and reflections with guests like her mom, her brother, and President Obama himself. Her second book, The Light We Carry, gave readers a guide for navigating uncertainty, fear, and relationships with honesty and resilience. As public figures, the Obamas have found a way to turn their influence into legacy. Together, they signed a record-breaking $60 million publishing deal in 2017. They've launched Higher Ground, their media company, which signed a reported $50 million production deal with Netflix. Through it, they've released award-winning content aimed at storytelling that lifts up underrepresented voices. Despite their financial success, they've never strayed from their values. Between 2009 and 2015, the Obamas donated over $1.1 million to causes like disaster relief, veteran support, and education. Barack even gave away the full $1.4 million from his Nobel Peace Prize. In 2015 alone, they contributed 15% of their income to more than 30 charities. They've invested in their daughters' futures as well, creating education savings plans early on to ensure Malia and Sasha had access to top-tier schools. Today, Malia is a Harvard graduate. Sasha studied at the University of Michigan before transferring to USC. Through all the public attention, Michelle has fiercely protected her children's privacy, raising them with the same quiet strength her mother showed her. At home, their lifestyle mirrors their values. In 2020, the Obamas purchased an $11.75 million estate on Martha's Vineyard. This 29-acre oceanfront property offers seclusion and comfort. It has a private beach, sparkling pool, and boathouse. In Washington, they own an $8.1 million mansion in the upscale Kalorama neighborhood. Just minutes from the White House, the home has gourmet kitchens, a wine cellar, and carefully landscaped gardens. Their travel history reads like a dream. After the White House, they were spotted kitesurfing with Richard Branson on Necker Island, vacationing at the Brando Resort in French Polynesia, wine tasting in Tuscany, and even river rafting through Indonesia. Michelle's fashion, much like her voice, bridges elegance and approachability. She's worn everything from high-end Versace gowns to J.Crew cardigans. From Converse sneakers to custom designer pieces, her wardrobe tells a story of self-expression, confidence, and accessibility. As the most admired woman in the U.S. for several consecutive years, Michelle Obama holds a rare kind of respect. It's not just about being the first, it's about what she's done with that position, her pride in her heritage, her willingness to speak openly about racism, sexism, and motherhood. That's what has made her beloved. Michelle has never run for office. She's made it clear she won't. Her focus has always been on family and service. At the 2016 United States of Women Summit, Oprah asked her what she was most proud of. Her answer? My daughters. Even in the White House, she never lost sight of her most important role, mom. And when it comes to advice, she delivers it like she lives it, with truth and grace. She says marriage is never 50-50. Sometimes you carry more. Sometimes your partner does. It's not about keeping score. It's about staying committed to the long view. As a parent, she believes in raising adults, not children, giving kids responsibilities early, trusting them to rise. That's how she was raised. That's how she raised Malia and Sasha. And when asked what it takes to belong in rooms where you feel like the only one, her answer is simple: be yourself. That's enough. Michelle Obama's personality is living proof that strength doesn't have to be loud, and that you can rise to the top without forgetting where you came from. She shows us that real power isn't about attention, it's about impact. If her journey inspired you, give this video a like, drop a comment sharing what stood out to you most, and hit that subscribe button. There are plenty more incredible stories coming your way.